Right. Time is 4:33. Today is Thursday, January 22nd, 2025. And I'll call this meeting of the Madison College Student Senate General Assembly to order. Thank you very much. And at this time, I would like to say welcome to our General Assembly meeting of the Madison College Student Senate. This is a public meeting. We will be recorded for transparency and direct conversations. We're going to cover a few basic items before beginning. If you lose connection at any point during the meeting, you can reconnect by clicking the link or calling the number in your original email. To the senators and other members online, please activate your video and keep it on during the duration of the meeting. If it is possible, use the raise hand feature when you'd like to be recognized to speak, ask questions, or request a roll call vote as chair. As the call on committee members, the order in which hands are raised, lower your hands if you have the cue. And at this time, could I please get a roll call?
Sure can. Do I have President Jose Villarreal?
Here, President.
Thank you. Vice President Administration Finance, Quinn Matson. I am present. Vice President Legislative Affairs, Ash Rogers.
Present.
Thank you. Vice President Team Development, Corey Sertzel.
Present.
Thank you. Vice President Public Relations, Ari Nichols.
Present.
Thank you. And Advisor Cole Calio Prado. Present. Thank you. Do I have Senator Sanjay Jagadish?
Here.
Thank you. Senator Annette Crowder.
Present.
Thank you, Annette. Do I have Senator Ashley Larson?
Present.
Thank you. Senator Idman Dua?
Present.
Thank you. Do I have Senator Ida Wilmo?
Present.
Thank you, Ida. And do I have Senator Sierra Brunner?
Present.
Thanks, Sierra. Do I have Reedsburg Senator Furkan Sindar?
Present.
Thank you, Furkan. And Goodman South Senator Bethany Bauer?
Present.
Look at that. We have met quorum.
All right, thank you very much. I will now read the minutes. I will now read the previous minutes for approval. Our last meeting was December 11th, 2025. We had a pretty standard meeting. We were given reports. There was a public comment by Vice President of Public Relations. He updated us on his meeting with Kim Henderson. We did have a team building activity with the Vice President Sertzel that he led. There was no disclosures or recusals. Then we had our standard reports from officers, advisors, and standing committees. We had reports from special and select committees. And then we also ended with the reports from branch campuses. Then we transitioned to the report from College Assembly and Shared Governance Councils. And to end the night, we did not have any unfinished business. There was no new business, but there was some housekeeping. There was announcements. We have a senator that resigned to serve in the military. And then we had adjournment. And that is it for the meeting minutes from the last meeting. And at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Motion made by Vice President Sertzel, seconded by Vice President Ash Rogers. I open up now for discussion. Hearing none, seeing none online. Vice President Quinn Matson, you are recognized.
Yeah, discussion. There's
Be that advisor messaging. Nope.
There's one report that doesn't have anything listed under it. It should just say no report. I think it's on third or fourth page.
Previous meeting minutes.
Yes, on the minutes.
Okay. So just a clerical amendment.
Yeah, just clerical amendment, if the first and second of the motion are willing to accept it.
Willing to accept? I'm willing to accept. Okay. Any discussion on that itself? Okay. Moving to approve the minutes with the motion being amended. Any discussion online or in person? Hearing none, seeing none. Take a vote unanimous consent. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Motion is passed. The minutes have Been passed and approved. Now we will now transition into the agenda for today. Today's agenda, we will have reports from officers of outstanding committees. We do not have any guest speakers unless anyone that reached out to them. Hear none, seeing none. This will just be a very standard meeting. Probably won't take the full 2 hours. Vice President Surflow does have a team building activity. He's ready to go. Yes. All right. With that, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Motion made by Senator Larson, seconded by Senator Jagadish. Open up for discussion. Discussion of Vice President Ari Nichols.
I would motion to amend the agenda to include 15 minutes under new business to discuss the campus survey findings.
Motion made to amend the agenda to add 15 minutes for Vice President Ari Nichols. Do I hear a second to that motion? Second made by Vice President Ash Rogers. I now will open it up for discussion in person or online. Hearing none, seeing none, going to take a vote unanimous consent. 5-4. Advisory poll.
Because it was an amendment to the already motioned and seconded to approve, we need to verify with those that motioned and seconded to that they accept the amendment.
I did assume senators, are you two senators accepted?
Okay.
Understood. Thank you, Advisory poll. We will take a vote unanimous consent. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Seeing none, hearing none. Motion is passed with the agenda has passed with the amendment, and we will get right into the agenda, folks. No public comment, and with that, unless our president of college would like to speak.
Could I give a brief report?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Can I come up?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Byrne, and I just thought I could give a few updates from the beginning of the semester from the college. And then if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Wanted to let you know that the faculty, staff, and I are continuing our focus on helping more students complete. So if people ask, what is the focus of Madison College? For the next 3 years, it is on helping more students complete. And that is complete the degree or credential that they came here to get, and then go to work or transfer with their associate's degree. So people ask a lot of times about what are the different definitions of completion. We want people to come here, thrive here, and then finish a thing that they started here, so that if they leave and life gets in the way and they don't progress the way they wanted to, they have a credential. It's very important. And anything you can do to work with your fellow students on getting that idea in their head. If you come and get a few credits, maybe you can get a short-term gain from it, but ultimately in the long run, we need you to have the job skills and academic and critical thinking skills that come from time and space and being engaged in something. So thank you. I have no doubt that all of you will complete, and I will congratulate you as you walk across the stage at Alliant Energy Center. I wanted to let you know that I'm glad the people from the other campuses are here. We now use different language. We used to talk about the regional campuses. We now, maybe you heard, but we call all of our campuses besides Truax branch campuses to emphasize that they are individual, but also all tightly connected to the work that's going on here. And we're very excited to do further outreach and support of everybody at all campuses. You may have heard, but in case you haven't, we are going to be closed tomorrow. We're very worried about both the safety of our own students, but also the safety of any family members or children that they might have that will be home tomorrow. And so we regret not being able to do our core business, but we hope people will take the day to stay warm. I wanted to let you know just about one construction project that is starting at spring break. Our veterinary technician program has not been updated since the 80s, and the poor animals are cold, and they don't have the most up-to-date labs as they should. you may know, we are the only veterinary technician program like within 60 miles. So if Madison College doesn't put out veterinary technicians, there aren't any. And so it's a very important program and we're investing in it. We're going to start at spring break. They're going to relocate with some of our partners at UW, and then they're going to come back in close to a year and have a brand new state-of-the-art facility, the way we have state-of-the-art facilities for our people health programs. We want them for all of our health programs. One more thing, we are about 2% up from last year in enrollment. Interestingly, and maybe you have insight into this, the enrollment patterns were such that students, we think registered earlier. So early, like before the break, we were up astronomical. And then more people registered earlier, which is good. We're happy. That's a good pattern. I think we're seeing a really good start to the spring semester. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Before we jump into questions, thank you for coming, President Burns. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you for having me.
And we will go into questions and answers, but we're going to time these questions. 30 seconds, a minute.
Sounds good.
About a minute per, and then if you like, you can answer as many questions as you like.
Well, I want to be respectful of your time, but so you tell me when you feel that we should move the agenda.
I'll get right into it. Vice President Ari Nichols.
Thank
You have
you.
the floor.
So, in regards to the name change from regional to branch campus, so that is something that we heard about through the Student Affairs Council. And that's something where the senators that represent those communities and those communities themselves were against the name change. And they'd actually prefer to continue to be called regional campuses and feel that branch makes them seem as though they're lesser than Truex. And that's a common concern that's been brought up by them.
Mhm.
What do you have to say for that?
Well, thank you for the feedback, and I'm very happy people, are engaged in it. To call it a regional campus is not accurate because we're a region. We're one region, and we've always been one region. So Madison College serves a region, which supersedes is Dane County and Jefferson County and Sauk County and all these other counties. So to call them regional campus was not accurate. We spent a lot of time thinking. We came up with branch, and let's try it and see if it is distasteful for people as they get used to it. And we're happy to revisit it in the future.
All of you like to ask?
Yeah, about how long are you going to stick with the name before, you would consider changing it back if there was still sort of this feeling about it?
We won't change it back to regional.
Okay.
We won't change it back, but we could change it to something else. And I would say we would sit with it for 2 years and see if it was interfering with, and the idea was to make their identities, to elevate, not to make them less. And, we also had this issue. We have 3 campuses in Madison. So it was like, there was the city campuses, there were the urban campuses. Are they really, they're the rural campuses. Are they really rural? Are they suburban? So we spent a long time thinking about it, and we don't take it lightly. We want people there to feel included, and we fully intend to include them. Language is important, but so I respect the idea.
So-
For your time, I can come back to you.
Okay.
I just want to share and respect the time. Vice President Corey Sertzel.
I find it very interesting that you guys are directing your attention towards students' completion. I genuinely appreciate that. However, I do want to bring up a concern with you. Is there a way that I could do that? Just personally, just regarding my own experience and
Sure.
handle other individuals.
Yeah, if you send an email to the president's mailbox, I will get it.
Okay.
And I'd be happy to respond to you.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Vice President Sertzel. Is there any questions online? I see Senator Crowder had her hand. Senator Crowder, you are recognized for the next 2 minutes.
Thank you. I have 2 questions. The first one is the status of us becoming a Spanish immersion college. I know we were getting close, and I'm just kind of curious where we're at now. And then the second question I had was in regards to something that I just totally forgot. So we'll just worry about the first one for now. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I'll answer the first one and then if you come up with the second one. So we are at about 19%. That was the last number I got. We need to be at 20, close to 25 to be recognized as a Hispanic serving institution. We're very interested in doing that. It comes with a recognition of of the students we serve. It also comes with a federal chunk of money that will help us. And I just heard that that money was recertified federally. So we're close. We're close.
Nice. And then I did remember the other question, which was in regards to the college recertification. I'm probably calling it the wrong thing. I was just wondering, like, how does Student Senate play a factor into that? Or is that something that, we're not involved with at all?
I assume you're talking about the Higher Learning Commission visit?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, yes. So our 10-year accreditation from the Higher Learning Commission, you've heard, is coming up May 4th. And students and Student Senate in particular play a big role. I'm going to defer to my colleagues who I believe will come and speak to this group.
Sure.
I
I
can
think
give some insight, yeah.
that's
Yeah.
okay, President Advisor Cole can answer that question.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so no, that's a good question. And so, yeah, our two individuals working on the accreditation, paper side of it. So Director of Student Life, Ellie Crean, and then Paul, I forgot Paul's last name.
Baraboo.
Baraboo, thank you. Reached out to me, and how Senate's going to participate. One is that when it comes to the on-campus visit, part of it, I guess, is that they do want to hear from students, both kind of walking through the hallways and stuff, but actually sitting down, meeting with students, and Senate would provide the opportunity to meet with those individuals. The second part is that there is a survey, it's my understanding, that will go out to all the students to collect data for the Higher Learning Commission, and Senate would facilitate that. We would use our basis and our outreach to get to students, as well as maybe some active tabling activities to go ahead and get students to complete the survey. As of now, those are the explicit ways that Senate's going to participate, but there are additional ways, to my understanding, coming down where students can participate, where you all, regardless of your Senate status, can participate within that.
All right.
Thank
Then
you both.
Advisor Cole.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask more because I've been hearing about the vet tech project. I just wanted to ask a quick question with that. So I didn't know that we were the only one within 60 miles. So that's very interesting. How has that program been growing more as we've talked about diversifying the number of programs that we offer and trying to gain more different populations of students to come and attend? Has that been a growing program within Madison College, say over the last however many years you want to benchmark?
Yeah, so my understanding from the faculty
Sure.
is that there's a wait list.
Okay.
It does, like dental and nursing, sometimes people get hung up with prerequisites.
Okay.
And so they're on the wait list, but they're doing their prerequisites. But so I'm not sure, if the X number of students, if they're actually ready or not, but it's a robust program for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Advisor Cole. Thank you, Senator Crowder. Thank you, everybody else. And I will recognize Vice President Ed Rogers.
Quick question for you, following up on that vet tech. You said that it was going to be moving to a UW institution for the next year. What's going to happen for those students who have to commute to wherever those labs are that are being rebuilt?
Yeah, so they're working on transporting the students. We already do some of our education offsite at farms and with large animals. And so the faculty and staff are very aware that students need support in getting places and that it's not ideal for those students. But, we have to build for the future and nobody will be that for their whole program. Right. So they'll have either started and ended that way, or they'll start that way and end in the new building or the new space.
Would anybody like to lend their voice? I think we have to lend our voice to the public, see if they would like to speak. If they have any questions for the president of the college.
Yep, you still do have somebody with their hand online. Annette has.
I don't think she ever put her down.
Oh, not you? Okay, Annette, I'm gonna put your hand down. So yes, so if one of you would like to be recognized to lend your voice to the public, you can.
So this is President Burns. Burns is the president of the college, and she comes in. Sometimes she wants to kind of fill us up as far as the status of what's going on in the college. And sometimes we ask her questions. but since you guys are the student body, we can lend a voice to you if you have a question you would like to ask the president.
I'm good.
You're fine? All right.
Yeah, so I guess we have time for like one more question if anybody does have just a
Senator Larson?
It's not really a question, it's more of just a comment. I finally, went to the one-stop services area, and I haven't used that before, and I just wanted to say, it was a really nice upgrade, and I really liked the service that I got, so I just wanted to say that.
Well, thank you. I will let them know that you had a good experience there, and that was, the point of it was to have students have a good experience. So I'm very glad, very glad. Thank you for sharing that.
You wanna-
Yeah, I'll,
Last, this is gonna have to be the last comment, if that's fine. President Byrne.
So follow up on earlier, there, just across all of the, branch campuses, you know, the, senators there reached out to their constituents and it was almost unanimous that they didn't like the name change. So I'm curious who you talked to and, you know, who you spent all this time working with, if it wasn't the students, on what the name change was gonna be.
I mean, we worked on it as an executive team.
Okay.
So we
So there
worked
was no
on,
student input.
I don't believe there was student.
Okay.
I don't believe there was faculty or staff input. I believe it was marketing, myself, the provost, and really you know, apologies if people had, feel slighted about that. It again was, an attempt to correct something that was inaccurate and perhaps we didn't correct it as everybody would have liked. So that I understand.
Would you be willing to work with students at these campuses on the sooner end to find a new name that they do like, that may be more descriptive? Or is this something where you're hard set on, we're gonna keep this name for 2 years?
We are going to keep this name for 2 years. We've gone through a tremendous amount of changing to, you know, on every single website, every single everything. However, I'm always happy to work with any student on any campus, and if they want to share, you know, what they believe would have been better, so that we have it, for in 2 years when they've all graduated, that would be really helpful. And be very happy to take that, feedback.
And so,
We're at, we are at time.
Order of the day.
We
I'd
are
like
over
to-
at time. What I would advise,
Supervisor Cole, you are recognized.
if you do have strong feelings or are passionate about this, please let me know. I'd be happy to connect you with Dr. Byrne's office to continue the conversation with it, but we are over time.
Let's give a big round of applause for that.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm just gonna sit and listen if that's okay. Right.
Yes, right ahead.
Thanks.
All right, folks. We're gonna go right into our team building, activity with Vice President Sertzel. The next 20 minutes.
Okay, so I wanted to come back and,
Come right here, look at this.
yeah. I just wanted to bring us all back and to kind of just celebrate
I'm fine.
this space together. But I just wanted to take some time to discuss, one win and one wish. So, over the, last semester, if you can reflect back far enough, I know it feels really, really long ago. But if you can reflect back on your previous semester, your fall semester, what was one win in that fall semester for you? And what is one wish that you can bring into this spring semester? Is there something that you really, really got a lot out of, like, say, Student Senate, for example? You had a great initiative and you got a great first start, or maybe you passed a bill in the fall that you were really, really proud of, and you're looking to get a head start on a different initiative or a different, you know, activity, a cabling event, so on and so forth. Or maybe it's not Student Senate related. That's okay. I just want to welcome a space so that we can go ahead and celebrate each other and celebrate our wins, our successes, and lift each other up in terms of what we want to accomplish. So, who wants to go first? Sanjay, you're smiling at me.
I'll start. A win. I'd say definitely for a win this past semester, just getting more involved with everything. You know, I'm doing this. I'm talking to all you guys and working on all the projects. It's been amazing. A wish for this next semester is just to continue like the work we're doing, just to do well in school. It's my final time here. So just finish everything up as best as I can.
I think one win for the fall semester was Senate's warm welcome. Really getting out there and talking to students and getting feedback. And just, again, just kind of being out there so they know that we're out there for them was a huge win for me. And then one thing for the spring semester that I'm hoping, maybe not Senate, but a personal thing is doing more tabling and handing out more informational stuff for students. So we can be informing students about things that they may not be aware of. Like, for example, like it's tax season. Did you know if you donate clothes at Goodwill, you can take that, get a receipt, and then write that off for your taxes, you know? See, you didn't know that, did you? Just little things like that. And also, again, you know, saying like, we're Senate and we're here for you and how, so.
Oh, yeah. I think my biggest win has really been the fact that we've always been able to keep new people coming in. So every time we've lost someone, we've always had someone right there ready to take the spot. That's not something they've had in previous years. You know, they wouldn't have been able to lose 4 senators unexpectedly over a break and then have 4 people in the room ready to fill those positions. You know, so really honestly, I feel like the fact that we've been able to do that and we've been able to really generate this much excitement around, you know, sort of student government is a pretty big win for me.
No wants? No wishes?
I want to get more people in here. You know, I want to have like a full Senate and then just have like 4 people sitting back there still attending the meetings because they want to join that bad. I want our last meeting to just have like the entire room full of people.
Right.
I think one of the things that I'm really happy about is how I did academically last semester. One of my favorite memories is staying after class to talk over some of the course concepts with my calculus teacher. And then after we just started talking and I brought up some of the Senate work and there was things that, you know, he'd never heard of. And that kind of segues into my wish for this semester is I would actually like to connect with more teachers about the work the Senate is doing so that they can share that with students. I know that we share in our classes some of the Senate work we're doing, and I would really like to emphasize that since we've got a slideshow for that. I'm really excited about that moving forward.
Yeah. Well, something that I am proud of and that I look back and I think is just, you know, lights me up is all the work that all of you have done. You know, I may be president, but you guys put up the majority of the work. You guys got your faces out there. You guys tabled, you guys wrote a resolution. I just stamped it, right? But seeing the work being done, hearing you guys, being around you guys, it was, you know, an honor to bring coffee in and hang out and try to get a pizza night going. And looking forward into the next semester, I'm gonna keep trying to get a movie night going for us, right? Every week, right? That'd be one thing you'll remember about me, like, well, that guy bought me pizza every week, right? He let me do whatever I wanted, as long as it was ethical, as long as it was on track. So just remember that. You guys are free to do whatever you want, all right? There's not gonna be no, this is the agenda, this is what we're gonna do. That's it for me.
Yeah, my win was the advent of ethical pizza nights. Yeah, the fun like energy to bring to Senate. One that maybe I was like not aware of, or maybe wasn't here as much in the previous semester when I was a senator. A few people here were also members of the 63rd Senate, but most of you weren't. My wish for this semester is to have more fun.
Alright, sorry, excuse my voice, I'm a little bit sick,
No,
but
okay.
my win would be, I dipped myself in a lot of funds and came into a lot of rooms I didn't think I would be in when I first started. And my wish will be definitely to concentrate my efforts a little bit more in all the things that I do.
Nice. I want to go ahead and get people online before I go. So, okay, Bethany, I see your hand up. Let's go.
I can start us off online. I think a win for the Goodman South campus was opening the Early Childhood Center. I think there's a lot of students that can benefit from more childcare being accessible to them. And something that I look forward to doing is working with the public safety building and bringing more access to food accessibility for those students who are wanting a fridge on campus.
Very nice. Thank you, Bethany. Great. Annette, would you like to go? Oh, you're
Myself?
muted, Annette.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, great. Let's see. My win for last semester was just survival. I made it through. It was a tough semester for me. I had a lot going on. Um, and let's see, my wish is to have less of a crazy semester this time around and to finish up my disability thing that I've been working on and incorporate the team into it more. So,
Nice. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yep.
Sierra, would you like to go?
Well, mine's not really school related for the fall one, but it was during the school. I think a few of it will, well, I have like three. One was being able to go to nationals for my pageant. Another one would be being invited to go on Capitol Hill to advocate for prostate cancer because my friend had that and he beat it. And being more affiliated with Stop Suicide of Fox Valley up in Green Bay. And then the wish for this semester would be continue advocating and proving that we can help slow down the suicides and all that. Because I just saw, I think it was in Boston, a kid ended his life due to bullying, and I want to try and advocate for better mental health resources for the college and high schools and all that.
I appreciate that. Furkan, would you like to go?
Yeah. So I believe as Senate we achieve a lot of things together, but things make me so happy and I can count as win. We start ad hoc committee for international student affairs, and for fall season I will count as achievement if we can find way to make our ad hoc committee as permanent committee. Thank you.
Is that all the senators?
That should.
Senator,
Senator Wilmo.
Ida, are you on?
Yes.
Do you want to go? I did not
yeah,
see your
sure.
name on there. I apologize.
No, it's okay. So for the first semester, my win was to survive to arrive to the end of the semester with all the things that I gone through. And my wish for this the spring semester is to do more stuff for the students. Uh, and I think that's all. Yeah.
Babe, thank you for sharing. Is there anyone else that I might be able to say?
you've gotten everybody but Vice President Ash Rogers will be recognized.
Do you mind if we lend our voice to the new senators or the people in the audience?
Sure, yeah, if we have time. What are we at for time? We're good, okay. If any of you guys are interested in sharing one wish and one win from, excuse me, one win from your fall semester and one wish that you have for your spring semester, feel free to go ahead and share. It could be literally anything. I'm more than happy to, lend, excuse me. I'm more than happy to listen because I always try to get you guys involved. So whoever, if you're interested, you can go for it. Don't feel pressured. You wanna go first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is my first semester though. I'm new, but what I like about the students in it was The first time I actually went to their office to ask about it, they were welcoming, both of them. They were so welcoming and glad. I didn't even know who was the president or the vice president, but they were so welcoming. So like, it's something that you want to be part of. The same way student, he accepted me as a student without me knowing who he was, is the way I feel like I want to join it so I could do that to other students too. So accept them without knowing who I am, and they also want to enjoy the school too. And something I wish to see is the way you guys helped during the orientation. We come in as new student, everything was smooth. I want that to continue because once you have a first experience in a school, you always want to continue going there if it's a good experience. So I just want that to continue happening. New senators coming in or previous ones, the welcoming openness to other students. That should work. Give people good semesters.
Thanks. Thank you for sharing. Is there anyone else that wants to go for it?
Hello, my name is Keys, and this is my first semester as well. So my win would be registering for this semester. And my wish is to get as involved in the college community as I can. I think that's really important to be a part of things and just whatever's going on. So this is my stops along the way.
Very good. Nice. Does anyone else want to go for it?
Not really school related sort of, but my win was finishing up environmental project I did. And then one wish I have is to be more involved since I'm gonna graduate.
Nice. Anyone else want to? Oh, Annette, I see you raised your hand.
I forgot to add like more of a positive win. I would call my positive win, other than my survival of the semester, is that I got to do a performance for the first gen event that was held on Madison College campus. And even though I wasn't like in a great space because of everything I had going on at that time, it felt really rewarding to do that and to honor my heritage and, where I come from, my mom.
That's awesome. Thanks. Thank you for sharing. Is there anyone else that wants to take part in the prompt? If you want me to repeat it, I absolutely can go ahead and repeat the prompt.
And go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
My win is just the same as this. This is my first semester, and my win is getting registered here. And my wish is be more involved in college and get mentored in everyone, the college community and the whole community, except for us. Yeah.
Oh, we got a lot of new students here. That's very exciting. And would you like to take? part in the
Sure.
prompt?
My personal win was starting college last semester and doing a first gen gallery exhibit, which was pretty nerve-wracking for me, but I'm not done with it yet, so there's gonna be a second part to it, and I'm gonna do it again, I guess. And just feeling safe here, I guess. Safer than I would at home or on the streets right now.
Yeah.
And that's just a win, personal win for me, because if I hadn't enrolled into the school, I wouldn't have the reassurance that life is gonna be okay and that I can get more active in giving back and making sure that other people of color can feel safer, I guess. And that's what I want to aim for this semester. I want to get more involved.
Thank you very much, everybody, for sharing. For our senators, for people that have joined today. And I'm not missing anyone, correct, besides myself and, oh.
Sure.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'll just say one win that the college had was we got a very large donation from the Jerry Fauci Foundation in November that will help support student scholarships for the next 5 years. So that's a very big win for the community. And one wish I have, I'll just maybe tag on to what you said. We want every student to feel that this is their place. And if there's anything that I personally or my colleagues can do to make you feel more secure and safer, please share.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Cole, do you want to go?
So I guess a win for myself, was getting you all to get more engaged with Wisconsin student government, as that body really does help dictate what it is that WTCS is going to hopefully hear from the students about in terms of our priorities. While it didn't really go necessarily the way we thought, glad that we still advocated in that way. On a separate note, we've just been seeing metrics across the board of students wanting to get more involved, which is great, including going to be our next ambassador for the college for the WTCS, which is really cool. So we saw a huge increase in people being nominated and recognized by faculty and staff. So my one wish for this is that we continue to see that, just because we know at some point less students will be enrolling in higher education as a whole, but continuing to push that involvement is huge, because that's another major part of this belonging and sense of accomplishment. So continuing to push that and kind of continue to grow that, not just keep studying.
All right. Okay, I guess it's my turn. As long as I'm not missing anybody. Okay. My win for my fall semester was not only like getting through my semester, doing well academically. I felt accomplished, even though I was really struggling with some of the concepts in my coursework. I pushed through and I was able to go ahead and actually help other students actually get through the coursework. And I think one of the major wins was realizing that I have a knack for guiding and teaching individuals. And I think a wish for my semester, my spring semester here, is hopefully delving more into that knack and hopefully exploring that a little bit more. I do know that there have been ups and downs, and I've really struggled through my winter break, but I'm coming in with it with a different light. So hopefully I can go ahead and start new opportunities. So I'm really glad to just be able to be here with you guys and to be able to continue my spring semester and wrap it up with each and every one of you. So.
Give Vice President Corey Central. All right, thank you, everybody. And with that, we're going to transition into disclosures and recusals. And at this moment, I would ask anybody in person or online if they have anything they'd like to disclose from or recuse themselves from. Vice President.
I'm taking one class at a different institution. I don't know if that's a big deal, but I don't know if that gives me any, like, I don't know, conflict of interest, but it's stated there.
Yeah, let the record reflect that it's stated Vice President Quinn Mattson is taking one class at another institution. Vice President Corey Searchel, you recognize?
I just want to disclose, following the semester, I will no longer be a student here at Madison College. I will be stepping away from Madison College, unfortunately, so this will be my final semester here. But I just wanted to disclose to each and every one of you that I will be hyper fixated on closing out my position here as Vice President of Team Development, just preparing for the next officer, so they're most prepared for this position. So thank you.
The record states Vice President Corey Searchel has stated that he will not be here next semester. And with that, I will, Vice Senator Larson, you're recognized.
Thank you very much, President. I'm not sure if this is something to do, but I'm still with peer health education this semester, but I also I'm helping the PHE with the food pantry in the mornings as well, so I'll also be doing that. So if there's anything, any voting or anything with PHE, I will lose myself slightly. I'm not, there's no conflict of interest.
Understood. Let the record state Senator Larson are these two, are they programs or are they clubs?
Organization.
Organization, the orgs, are the two orgs listed and they have recused themselves for any voting on the matters in the future. Any other recusals or disclosures for the record?
That's kind of hand up.
Senator Crowder, you're recognized.
Thank you. Just letting you guys know that I'm dually enrolled again at UW Whitewater and Madison College.
Thank you, Senator Crowder. Let the record state Senator Crowder said she is duly enrolled in two universities at the time. And with that, is there any other recusals or disclosures? Seeing none, hearing none. Senator Bowers, I will read your message out. I'm no longer working as a club coordinator of my time on my academics this semester. Understood. Okay. And with that, I'm going to close disclosures and recusals. Thank you, everybody. And we will dive into reports of officers, advisors, and standing committees. And I will start with my report, the Executive Council and the President's report. I have, for my report, the E-team has met and we discussed further recruitment for this current semester. Also, just to fill in senators that we lost. Seems like we did a pretty good job at that. We also approved today's agenda, next week's today's agenda. There was a district board that I attended and the information that was covered is in the SharePoint, but if you would like it, I can definitely email it to you or teach it to you, whatever is convenient. And moving forward, we are looking ahead and we hope to have all your committee meeting times with the advisor. And that will conclude my report. But at this time, I will take questions or any comments since it's been a while since we all seen each other. All right. Seeing none, hearing none, I'm going to move on down to the Finance Committee, Vice President Quinn Madsen, for your report.
Okay, my report. Welcome back to Madison College, everyone. We will not be awarding points for office hours this week because it's kind of half of a week. This meeting is, attendance will be taken and points will be awarded. We will not have committee meetings. I don't know if any committees are meeting this week. Committees will begin meeting the third week of the semester or sooner. We'll be in contact with all of you if anyone needs to shift from one to another, schedules change, things like that. That's the administration side. On the finance side with Finance Committee, my focus is on revising the 3-year plan. The timeline for this is working on it. I've talked with Finance Committee. I may delegate more tasks to them, be working on this on my own. I'll then bring this to the E-team and present some of the ideas that I've been working on. And we'll narrow it down and then it'll come here to the General Assembly in, Cole, you might have to correct me, in like a month or so.
Yeah, it all just depends on how it plays out. We will have more information for you next week after SAB meets for the first time. I take a little bit of your time real fast.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The biggest thing to note is that when we do come to the Senate GA, Quinn will present to you all the 3-year plan, just so you're all aware. But that'll be like the one final time that we do so, because then we'll prepare for the actual presentation, which when we know that, let you all know so you can attend the SAB meeting.
Please do. Our co-chair.
Yeah, I need a good show of support. So I'll be taking attendance. That concludes my report. Thank you all.
All right, I'd ask if you have any questions or comments.
And I have my hand up right away.
Senator Crowder, you are recognized for a quick comment or a quick question if you have one.
Yep, more of a quick comment. I just wanted to make sure that people know that when we are doing the presentation for the 3-year plan, that it's important that you guys ask us questions so that we are prepared for when we go to the meeting and they start to ask us different things that we might not have thought about. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Crowder. With that, we're going to close it up. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out to Vice President Quinn Madsen, either Teams or email. He will get back to you. And we will now move to the Rules and Legislative Affairs Committee to hear from the report from Vice President Ed Rogers.
Thank you, President. You may recall that we were doing a bylaw rewrite that has started up now that semester has started, and my committee can expect to hear a lot more about that. And I'll probably also be talking to Cole about that soon. Speaking of committee, if you are in my committee, you should have been notified by Cole, and you will be getting a survey by me probably tonight to get your availability for the semester. That way we can get some details on when to meet. Also, there was conversations at WSU regarding food prices that I did alongside our Vice President of Public Relations. We had about a 20-minute roundtable where we got to ask them questions. They got to ask us questions and we answered, and we heard some of their stories, some of their feedback about their food prices at their cafeterias. And that has influenced the work that we're doing on our latest resolution. And we do have some recordings of that. I'd appreciate if those recordings send it to me, and I'll be putting that together. Further, I networked with some people at the student leadership retreat, so I've got some ideas that I'm passing on to Ari. And then, yeah, if you have any bills or resolutions that you want to write, please come talk to me. I've written a few of them by now, so if you want any help writing those, I can help you come up with ideas. I can help you with structuring, formatting, anything like that. And then, of course, it will go through the committee eventually. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Vice President Rogers. Is there any questions that we have for Vice President or comments as far as the bills, meeting times? Pretty important stuff. That's okay. Well, with that, we're going to move on. Thank you very much. Public Relations Committee, Vice President Ari Nichols.
You skipped Corey.
Did I?
Yep.
All right. I didn't want to skip you. All right. So Vice President Vice President Corey Sertzel for Team Development Committee.
All right, so Team Development Committee, we are anticipating meeting February 10th at 5, excuse me. Hold on. We are anticipating resuming our regular weekly meetings starting February 10th, and it goes from 5:40 p.m. to 6:40 p.m. So the individuals that are expected to participate are Sierra Brunner, Ida Wilmo, and Bethany Bauer. And as understanding this, I know that our schedules may be still kind of settling. So if you have any concerns, please reach out to me as soon as possible so then we can try to maintain flexibility there. For team development activities that we were still just trying to figure out what would be the best opportunity for team development activity for us to be able to collaborate and celebrate our Senate team. Quinn and myself had reached out to Neighborhood House in Madison, and they are a great volunteer effort. So we're going ahead and trying to contact them and get more information. We're aiming for getting a party about 12 people or so. So we're still waiting to hear back from Neighborhood House, but they seem like a great option for us. But if you have any other ideas that even if you are not part of the committee, please share them with us so then we can go ahead and brainstorm and figure out the logistics. But that'll conclude my report.
Thank you very much, Vice President Sertzel. Is there any questions or comments for Vice President Sertzel? In person or online? Senator Crowder, I see that you're typing. We will hold a little bit here.
I can just ask a question, sorry. I was just wondering if this was going to be, if we're going to work with the volunteer center or if it's just going to be student center.
That's something that we've been trying to figure out ourselves as well. Volunteer Center has some great options in terms of like on-campus events that allow us to go ahead and do volunteer hours that way. If we run into a bit of a pickle regarding commuting or like if anybody is having a hard time going to a certain volunteer center outside of or off campus, we can go ahead and touch base with the volunteer center. But yeah, for now, we have only reached out to Neighborhood House. We've been looking to do more like independent student senate team development. So does that answer your question? Perfect.
All right. Thank you very much. I think there was a comment in the, we'll read out the comment. District Board Liaison Hassan, you can also check out the UW Arbitrarian, so something a good idea to think about. Thank you very much, Vice President Zirkle. We're now going to move to our Vice President Nichols for his committee report.
Thank you. So, obviously didn't meet this week. We will be meeting next week. We will be meeting at 4:30 to 5:30 Wednesdays, which is the same time as last year. This year will look a bit different from last year, simply because I will be much busier with the elections. So there will be a lot more independence when it comes to projects, simply just because I will be busy. As well as that, obviously, we are doing a lot of marketing and a lot of setup already for the elections. That's something me and Cole started on today. The first stuff we should have coming out right around the first week of February. And then even if you are not a part of public relations or you have not engaged with public relations as a student senator, you are still expected to at least talk about the elections and get that information out there and let people know to run. I encourage all of you to try your hardest to sell it as much as possible. Me and Cole have some pretty big goal numbers that we're trying to hit to surpass these last couple of years. With our current sort of shown interest, I think it's definitely possible. We've definitely had a lot more engagement just this year compared to previous years. Now, if that's due to us or due to other reasons, I'm going to say it's because of us because it makes me feel better. But a lot of that stuff will be coming up shortly. And so really make sure that you talk about it, that you get that information out there, and that if you have any friends or any classmates or really anyone at the school, or if you're standing in line for lunch and you hear someone talk about it, jut in, really try to sell them on it and get them to run, or at least make sure that they vote in the election. And that will conclude my report.
Does anybody have any questions for Vice President Artie Nichols? In person or online? Senator Crowder, I see that you type it again. We will hold for your comment or question.
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Vice President Artie Nichols. We are going to move to our advisor for his report.
For sure. So I just want to piggyback off of what VP Nichols said, because that is entirely the case. It is upon everyone's responsibility, all of you who are currently serving on Senate, for those of you who may join us in a couple of weeks. Getting individuals to apply and vote in the elections is everybody's situation. So while some of the back work is going to be done by myself, VP Nichols and VP Rogers in terms of public relations and making sure the elections happen smooth, everybody should be talking about it. So be advised that on top of 2 hours of tabling you're going to do this semester, there's going to be additional tabling that is going to happen as a part of your responsibility to make sure the elections run smooth and that we get applicants. So something just to be aware of that's coming from myself. For the election timeline, yep, just be advised that the application to run for next year's Senate will go live February 8th. That's in the student handbook. Emails are going to go out. You can't miss it. Trust me on that. We have a plan. But yes, February, we said it's February 8th, right?
Yeah, February 8th.
February 8th. It will go live. If that's wrong, I'm off by a day or so.
No, it's February 8th.
But it'll happen. So be ready, be there. And if you are returning to Madison College next year, run again. If you will be departing after this semester, I'll miss you. Please don't apply because it just throws off my numbers because I'm the one that has to process all the applications. For my current Senate folks, office hours will begin next week, So make sure you get your office hours in. I'll be asking for your scheduled office hours time to post for the following week. Again, we post that so that students are aware. We make an event on Wolfpack Connect for everyone to see. The front desk staff will also have it available. So I'm going to ask you for that. I'm going to ask that you get that to me as soon as you are able, with the confident 2-hour span that you will regularly try to be available. As you see, some folks are gone. We have had some folks transfer out and step away. So Senator John McCray Portage, as well as Senator Claire Lee, who joined us, have stepped away. And then Senator Avery Holting, as well as Senator Rama Mohammed, are obviously no longer serving on the Senate. So we do have quite a few openings. So please, as was mentioned, if you have peers, friends, anyone that wants to run, we will be opening that up probably in February to get that going. My last two things is that the legislative seminar, many of you have gotten emails about that. Today was the day to let me know if you want to participate in the events leading up to it. I have folks for that, so I'll be submitting that. Next week, though, if you want to come for the meeting with our politicians, which is on that Tuesday, happening Tuesday morning, you'll hear from me next week about that. And if you're willing to commit to that, we'll give you more information. But that is the time where we will meet with those that represent our areas, as well as trying to meet with the Joint Finance Committee chair so that we can talk a little bit more about advocating for the WTCS. My last thing is that if you want to know who are your representatives, we have the politician list in the Senate office. So all of the assembly folks and the senators who represent our districts are identified. You can find their information on the state government website. That's all I have.
Thank you, Advisor Cole. Is there any questions, comments, concerns for our advisor in person or online? All right, seeing none, hearing none, we're going to transition reports from special and select committees, and we will start off with Vice President Quinn Madsen for the Student Activity Board.
Yeah, the Student Activities Board has not met since last semester, so I cannot update you. We will be meeting next week, Friday at 1:30. Are we in this?
I know zero idea. I'll have to look.
You will all find out what room SAB is meeting in before our meeting at 1:30 p.m. next Friday.
Exactly.
We will be meeting weekly this semester as opposed to last semester when we met bi-weekly. That is all I can give you right now.
Thank you very much, Vice President Quinn Madsen. Is there any questions or comments about SAB? Hearing none, seeing none, we're going to move on to Textbook Affordability Committee is vacated, so we will move to International Students Affairs Committee for Senator Sindar. Do you have a report?
Yep, I have a report. So I just sent Google Essay, this kind of tool to understand availability, but it was my first time and I thought nobody answered that. But I just realized yesterday, because when I go CA office, they ask me when we're gonna meet, we just reply. I thought the reply will come to my mail, but I think it's not work like that. So I will sit and I already take the availability, so we will choose day together to meet. And beside that, right now I am working with Cole and about presentation. I'm trying to do state level. I already speak with policymaker Brandon, and I will try to do presentation about international students in Wisconsin. It's gonna be so beneficial for our state and international students body. I'm using the informations we gain as International Students Committee and support from CA. Thank you, that's all.
Thank you very much, Senator Sindar, for that report. Is there any questions that we have for the Senator in person or online? Seeing none, hearing none. I'm going to move now to reports from branch campuses, and all of them are vacant except for Goodman South and Reedsburg. So we'll start with Goodman South. Senator Bauer.
I haven't been back to Goodman South since the start of the semester, so I don't have anything to report right now, but I do have a meeting over there in the next 2 weeks, so I will come back then.
Thank you very much, Senator Bowers. Is there any questions or comments that we have for our Goodman South Senator? All right, seeing none, hearing none. We're going to go right back to you, Senator Sindar, for your Reedsburg campus report. If you have one.
Yep, I have one. 2 weeks ago, I went to Reedsburg campus to drop bags from Student Life. I think they are Wolfpack Connect bags. I'm not sure quite. And when I go there, they were little bit busy. And I asked them how's everything going, and they respond me they are preparing for the spring season and everything is good. I think that's my report for now.
Thank you, Senator Sindar. I guess I'll ask you, was there busy in a good way, or was it busy where it looked kind of chaotic and not organized?
It was busy in the good way. It's not about students. The staff, they are doing something. They were doing something, and it was look positive.
Any questions for our Senator from the Reedsburg campus? Seeing none, hearing none, we're going to move on. Thank you, Senator Sindar. To our reports from College Assembly and Shared Governance. College Assembly Vice President Rogers.
We did meet on January 14th. We went over a few items of business. The first one was the Green Team was going to be confirmed as a subcommittee, I do believe. And because they had not received I believe it was the mission statement, thank you. They tabled that for a later meeting until they had that. Another thing that went over was the new meeting time for semester 2, which is the same as the old meeting time. So it's still going to be every other week, I do believe, on that Wednesday from 2:30 to 4:30. Two other things that went over. The principal item of business was elections. They decided to keep elections at the current time after much deliberation. And they decided they were going to have a listening session, which I didn't write down, but is within, I think it's February 17th. So it's within the next month.
February 19th.
February 19th. Maybe Cole should be getting the report. So there'll be listening sessions. You are encouraged to come to that. Yeah, and there's gonna be more outreach about that. That's one of the main things I wanted to do is create a subcommittee and start advertising the elections.
Thank you, Vice President Rogers. Is there any questions anybody has or any comments about College Assembly they like to ask Vice President Rogers? Senator Crowder, you are recognized.
Thank you. I was just gonna mention that, I don't know who exactly, if this is your committee or if this is, a different one. But, when I was visiting with Fort Atkinson last semester, they were talking about, some of the construction that they needed done there. And they weren't even sure like where they were, like as far as placement on the updates. And they were talking about how they get a lot of use of their, community room, but they have basically some things that could be improved, and it would facilitate more use of the building itself. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Crowder. That's more comment.
Huh?
Nope. Oh, just clarifying that it was a comment and not a question that you wanted to answer to.
No, it's a question. I don't know where they are as far as the where they're when the updates to where they are in the plan, and they didn't seem to quite know either. They said they were supposed to be getting some things done, and then things got jiggled around. So I didn't know if that was something that would be part of that committee or if it's part of a different one.
Okay, Senator Crowder, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to recognize Advisor Cole.
So chances are many of the capital planning projects are not really through a committee. That's actually going to be handled through facilities and such. So what we can do is we'll take that and then I'll reach out to campus manager at Fort, see what they have, and then I can see if we can fall back to start with Cody or just kind of figure out from there of where that process is. But definitely if you hear more about that, definitely have them reach out in the direction of the administration, because I know that falls under Dr. Silver Ramirez's area, and then we can get that information for them. So good insight. We will figure out that next step.
All right. Thank you very much, Vice President Rogers. We're going to move now to the Academic Council and Senator Wilmo. If you have a report for us.
Nothing to report right now.
Okay. No report. We will move back to our Vice President Quinn Matson for the FPIC.
Yeah, so I have just joined FPIC. I was unfortunately not able to join for their first meeting, which was on January 20th, the first day of this school week on Tuesday. but I will attend their next meeting in February and I'll update you all then.
Maybe you can update us on the status of a tour for the Senate, huh?
Yeah, I sure can.
Is there any questions regarding EPIC that anybody wants to ask Vice President Madsen in person or online? Okay, hearing none, seeing none. We will now move to Finance Council from Senator Larson for your report.
Thank you. So, Finance Council did meet on the 16th, and it is the start of the new year, and so they are beginning, to put together the budget. And there are a bunch of different projections and, because, you know, for transparency, they did estimate around, I don't remember the exact numbers, but if you'd like them, please email me, around 5 million. And they were discussing in ways, they can, decrease that by, and one of the, recommendations was what they usually do is, not staff certain positions around the college. So, that's kind of all they were talking about, but again, these were all projections. So the budget is kind of in the first steps, in being created, so, that is my report.
Thank you, Senator Larson, and I'm going to go ahead and recognize Vice Cole, and then I will recognize Vice President Ashcraft.
So I clarify, $5 million deficit.
Yes.
Okay.
Around that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Vice President Ashcraft, would you recognize?
In the meeting, did they provide any information on the number of cuts that they would have to do to account for that deficit? And do you know where those positions would be vacant?
Again, because it's so new, they didn't really have specific areas or, how they would, do that. So, like, it's all kind of new, but, as I'm updated, I will update all of you.
Senator Larson, is there any other questions or comments that we have for the Senator? In person or online? Okay, and you can always reach out and, Senator Larson would be more than happy to walk you through what it is that, they're up to date on. Okay, with that, I believe we're going to go right back to Vice President Ari Nichols for Students Affairs Council. Please report.
Yeah, thank you. So Student Affairs did meet last week, I believe. And we talked about food costs actually. And the people in Student Affairs Council believe they have come up with an idea that they plan to propose to College Assembly on how to fix the food costs. So their plan, as follows, is ask for money from the foundation, use that to remodel the cafeteria and rebuild it, and then staff it with more student employees to cut down on costs. That's the plan that they've come up with. We'll see where that goes forward from here. Next meeting, we're going to be discussing it more, sort of trying to lay some more action steps to it. And then if that is the plan that they decide to follow through with, it will be proposed to College Assembly, I believe, at the end of the year. So that concludes my report.
I think Senator Crowder was first.
Yep, Senator Crowder first.
Senator Crowder, you're recognized.
Well, I guess this would be more of a statement than a question. I would wonder, like, if they're getting funding from the foundation, does that affect student scholarships or is that separate funding? Because that would be my one concern.
Yeah, that's a good question. So that's not something that has really been discussed yet. The discussion was just to get money from the foundation, or to just ask them for it and have them give it to them. So they didn't say sort of where within the foundation that would come from or how they would redistribute it, just to ask them for money.
Is there a record of the meeting? Are there notes you took? Is there any way that we can reference this and get more details?
Let's see. I believe it is recorded.
It is recorded.
Yeah. So I can go through that recording, or I can get the transcript for that recording as well, and I can bring that to you guys. Yeah, I will get that to you, or I'll send that out in an email right after this meeting.
Thank you very much. Vice President Madsen, you're recognized.
Yep, my suspicion is that would be separate, Crowder. I'm not certain, but I know the Madsen College Foundation both disperses like scholarships and manages money for different departments, different schools of the college. So if we want to withdraw some of our funds that they oversee, that might be separate from their distribution of grants that they collect.
Vice President. Advisor Cole, you're recognized.
No, for sure. What I would definitely say is if you have these concerns or questions, send them to VP Nichols. We can have them ready for the next meeting. If this is something that does look to progress, we've already had it before. I forgot his name. He's now the head of the foundation. He came in and talked with us last year. Do you remember him? I can't remember his name. I want to say his name's Brian.
Brian Woodhouse.
Brian Woodhouse. Yeah, I got half the name right. Brian has showed interest in wanting to come back. So something to learn more about the foundation because he did talk with us briefly before. But that would be where we'd have to start. Because again, this is just pure speculation at this point. We're going to have to probably dive in much deeper if this is something they're going to actually look at come February.
Any other questions, comments, or concerns that we have for Vice President Nichols? Good stuff, folks. Okay, we will now transition to unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business anybody wants to speak of? Advisor says no. Hearing none, seeing none, we're going to move to new business. Is there any new business? And the agenda was amended. So Vice President Ari Nichols, are you ready for your presentation?
I am. So I'm going to share my screen here. And you will all get to see a beautiful sort of thing here. So let me see if I can get this in presentation mode. View full screen. Okay. Good enough. So what you're gonna see here, this is the JED campus sort of information. There we go. That was given. So we surveyed about 1,200 students. I've also put in the chat the full report and sort of what Better Minds made of that information. And you will be able to see that in the Student Senate chat. As for this information, this is a, I don't remember what they're called, Microsoft's version of PowerPoint, whatever they renamed it to. And this was made to sort of, make it a bit easier for everyone to see what, or how students responded, sorry. So we're going to go through most of these. I'm going to be pretty brief on them unless I think that they're interesting or there's some discussion that came up about them. But so as we can see, a majority of students did feel that well-being, that a mental and emotional well-being is a priority. This was something that we actually ended up finding a little bit surprising, just because we thought that there would be more sort of social stigma around talking about mental health. And we'll see more that that was not the case. And that was something we were really happy to see. We also see that once you include somewhat agree, students do feel that we are working to promote mental health on campus, which is also good. I'm sure that that number will become stronger as the JED Foundation sort of work becomes more apparent, sort of when we do the campus visits and start actually implementing their projects, instead of just sending out this survey information. The school administration listens to concerns of health and wellness. Again, same thing, sort of, we're just talking about, people see that this is happening, and we hope that that number becomes stronger soon here once we start implementing more of this stuff. This was the other one that we found interesting, this fourth one here, where again, we were really happy to find that a decent amount of students do feel that they're able to talk about mental health. That was one of the big concerns going into this, would be just how many people are actually going to be willing to do these programs. And so seeing that there's not as much of a stigma around it as we thought there would be has been honestly the biggest win for this so far. Moving next to connectedness. So this is pretty big for us, obviously, because this is something that we work on directly. So we did actually find that a majority of students do feel isolated from campus or feel that they're not able to sort of communicate with each other or that they're being left out. And, you can see that these numbers are pretty even, but there is still a majority to that. And I'm sure that obviously that's something that we'll look at and that we'll work with the JED Foundation closely to make sure that we can get that inclusion up. Since, as student senators, that's definitely one of our biggest things we're supposed to work on. People did feel that we looked out for each other on campus. So that was pretty cool. Again, we hope to get that somewhat agree down and more into agree and strongly agree. But as for where it stands right now, just at the start of this program, seeing a lot of these numbers skewing this way has been, very good for us. It's been a very positive thing, sort of seeing that this is being receptive and that people were already working on this, before we started really implementing. Students were working on their own mental health and finding their own ways. So knowing now that we're able to support that and bring that out more, it's going to be great. So this number here, the how often do you feel left out? So this was one of the numbers that we actually talked about for a decent while. And this was because we see this big group in the middle here where almost 50% of students feel like at least some of the time they're being left out. And so a big thing, obviously, loneliness leads to depression. If you don't have friends, you are more likely to become depressed. So that's something that is actually going to might be harder for an organization like Better Minds or the JED Campus Foundation to really, create that sort of student inclusion and belonging. And so that's definitely something where we're going to have to work on that because we have a lot more connection to these students and we have a lot more sway and, sort of getting them in the room, as we can see. So it's going to be important that we really work with other clubs and stuff to make sure that they boost their numbers so that students feel that they have a space here. Moving on to life skills. So we do see a majority of students feel that they have led a meaningful and purposeful life. This is really good. Obviously, I don't think I need to explain to why that is a good thing for people to feel. So seeing this number, that's great. What this number actually can tell us a lot, though, is that some of these people that say that they are leading a purposeful and meaningful life may still select that they're struggling with mental health or depression. And so knowing that, but knowing that a majority of students still feel positively about, the experiences they've had in general, that's definitely a big thing because that really gives us something to sort of look at and say, okay, well, if we're able to sort of remind students why they find meaning or why they find purpose in life, sort of through these mental health services, that would be a really good way to sort of, boost morale here and boost student engagement. We see as well, a lot of students feel that their social relationships are supportive and rewarding, be that inside and outside of the college. So that's pretty cool. Really glad to hear that because obviously, again, as I was saying earlier, loneliness leads to depression. So seeing that a lot of these students have support networks already will definitely mean that when we start, implementing more mental health services, we'll have something good to sort of be able to push students into more once they aren't with us as, kind of a reminder or as a way to, support them. So this is another number that we found interesting. So I tend to bounce back quickly after hard times. So we do see that this still skews towards a majority of people agreeing, but we also see that there is a large group of neutral and disagree here. And so a big part of that we were really thinking about is, hey, how do we get this, how do we sort of get people back into the swing of things better? That is also something that as a college is kind of hard to do. Obviously, you do not have a lot of control over how quickly people heal from the process. The best ways that we're going to really try to work on that is simply just really trying to promote sort of a healthy healing process and try to get away from this idea that if you sort of bury or suppress these emotions long enough, they'll eventually just go away. That doesn't work. And so we're really trying to make sure that we can communicate that to students once we start instituting more of this program, because a lot of the times when people, don't work through these feelings or something happens and they sort of just sit with the trauma of it, that's what really leads to long-term anxiety and depression. Sort of these events that sort of you're never able to fully recover from. And a lot of that healing happens soon after the event. The longer you go on holding this sort of trauma, the more damage it will cause. So really making sure students get back into the swing of things quickly will definitely be important and something that we're going to work on. So next we have identifying students at risk. So here we have the mental health gatekeeper training program. I'm going to be honest. I do not know what this is. As we can see, a lot of students also do not know what this is. We didn't actually cover this at all. This graph here was not brought up during our discussion. So I'm going to dig more into it, but for right now, I don't have much to say. The one right next to it, though, I feel confident in helping someone with a mental health problem. We do see that a lot of students feel that they're able to sort of help other students with their feelings, which is good. That is definitely something we want. Obviously, having a community around you that is supportive is very important. And we also want to make sure that we can work to sort of, tell students, hey, this is how you can notice signs of mental illness in your friends, or hey, this is some ways to bring people out of like a dissociation episode, you know. So really training students sort of, I like to call it mental CPR, sort of teaching people first aid response to mental episodes. That way, you know, they may not be able to handle the whole thing, or that person will probably still have to talk to a professional about it, but you're able to get them out of whatever situation is causing that, or whatever mindset may be causing that. And that's really important to, you know, make sure that students are, and people are safe, as well as making sure that, you know, these events or episodes don't get, you know, continuously worse in the future. Next, we have talking about mental health affecting academic performance. So we did see a majority of students, almost 60%, would talk to someone. Majority of that being the instructors. And, you know, that's good. We're very happy to hear that a lot of students feel that they're able to talk to people. But obviously, this big 41% bar sitting right here that says no one is kind of, you know, doesn't feel as great. So we're really going to try to work on that and make sure that we can really push these mental health services and make sure that students understand that, you know, while mental health professionals or your instructors or your teachers may be paid to be here and may be required to do certain things, a lot of them wouldn't take these jobs if they didn't care about the people. There would simply be, you know, either better options or other things out there. So the instructors and, you know, people that work in the school do care about the students. And I think really pushing that and making sure students understand that no one is here, you know, no one at Madison College is really out to get them or really trying to hurt them, can really help get that number from 41%, hopefully down lower to anywhere from like the 35 to 20% range would be really nice. Next, we see if you're experiencing serious emotional distress, who would you talk to? Obviously, the main majority here is a family member. This is expected. Obviously, if you're facing some sort of mental problem, that's probably going to be who you talk to, or it's going to be a friend, or it's going to be a romantic partner. These are, you know, none of these answers are really surprising. Obviously, next comes a professional clinician. The only thing of really note here is the 7% saying that they use chatbots such as ChatGPT. So this isn't a large percent by any means, and this was a select all that applies. So it's very possible that a lot of the people that selected this also selected, say, like a family member or something. But that one of the things we do want to push is that AI, especially in its current state, cannot do mental health. It does not know really how the human brain works well enough, and it, no matter how much large language learning it does, it will not be able to understand sort of just how complex, you know, psychology and mental health and therapy is. So we really want to make sure students, you know, sort of don't use AI or chatbots as much and try to go more for, you know, either friends, family, or professionals, or anyone else that they may be able to rely on that is hopefully a real person. Next, we have mental health and substance misuse. So what we do see is that a majority of students have felt some sort of anxiety or mental health problem in the past 12 months. That's to be expected. You know, everyone is expected to have mental health problems at some point, be that just anxiety about a test or being sad about a relationship ending. What we do hope, though, is for obviously this graph to shift more to the disagree, but also really that people are able to more strongly understand when they're having a mental health issue. So we can actually see a lot of somewhat agree and somewhat disagree here. And if we would really actually like to sort of push that more to the extremes so that people know when, you know, what counts as a mental health episode and what doesn't. That way we're better able to, you know, work with students and other people and really understand if something is like you're feeling sad for a day, but you're not sure if that counts, or if you're feeling sad for like, right? Next, we see over the past 30 days, have you used any drugs recreationally? A large portion, 80% said no. It's great, you know, love our students to be that way. Around 18% said cannabis or THC. Again, this is to be expected. We are, you know, none of the information that really was found here was all that groundbreaking. We did talk a little bit about about the honesty with these numbers and, if people were actually reporting truthfully or not. Obviously, we don't know. We just kind of have to hope that people do. So is there a chance that the numbers for drug use are higher? Yes. But since we can't really accurately gather that information, going off the best what we have, we're doing pretty good. For women at the college, a lot of them did not report any sort of binge drinking, which is good, or if they did, it was once or twice. That's really good, obviously, for really apparent reasons. I don't think that's something that needs to be explained. Same thing with males. So we really like that, and seeing that a lot of the sort of drug and alcohol use was not as high. Because that really tells us a lot of the mental health being dealt with here on campus, maybe more due to either problems they may be facing on campus or problems in their life, but not something that may require actual rehab, for example. Because that's something that would be a lot more difficult for a college. So knowing that a lot of our students will be able to use the services that we're creating to actually address their mental health issues, great. Like I said, if you want to know more about this, the full reports and the actual breakdown that BetterMind had is in the Student Senate General Assembly chat and PDF form. Otherwise, reach out to me as well. We are currently looking for 12 students to be a part of a mental health focus group. Any student, doesn't matter, what kind of student you are. Just if you are a student here, we would like for them to come and sort of, give us more information, dive deeper into that kind of thing. I don't really know entirely what exactly it will entail yet. That is something that will be discussed more during the next JED meeting, which I think will actually be the on-campus tour. So you'll have more information about that in February. But if that is something that is interesting, or anyone who would like to participate in a focus group like that, please let me know, and I will let the people involved with it know. And that concludes everything I have to say.
Thank you very much, Vice President Nichols. If you can, please just drop the date of the JED Foundation's showing in the chat and pin the report in the chat. And I'm going to go to Advisor Cole for his comment, and then I'll go to Vice President Roger.
First, let you know you're over the 15 minutes. So you'll need to extend if you want to continue the conversation.
All right. I would entertain a motion to extend the time. Motion made by Vice President Ash Rogers. Do you have a time now that you would extend?
Motion to extend for 5 minutes.
It's really up to you. Yeah, it's up to you.
5 minutes?
Motion made for 5 minutes. Seconded by Senator Larson. Open up for discussion in person or online. Hearing none, seeing none, we take a vote in consent. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Motion passed. We have now 5 more minutes on the clock. Advisor Cole, you're recognized.
Yep. If you do want to learn more and you want to hear it more from the folks that are facilitating it, Ari is obviously a great resource because Ari is in those meetings. But Geraldo Villa Cruz, who is leading this with the JED campus, our dean of students, will be coming to Senate on February 26th. That is the date they actually requested they come in and talk more about what's going on with JED in the process. Something just to be aware of as well. In the meantime, if you want to learn more ahead of time, let me know. I can correct you as well.
Advisor Cole, did he mention if he was going to come in person or attend virtually?
No idea. My hope is
in person.
In person.
Vice President Rogers, you're recognized.
I've got 2 questions for you, Ari. First one is, I noticed that there are statistics that were in those slides that were not presented in the full 15-page write-up. That seemed like more focused on 5 specific areas.
Okay.
So will those slides be available for us in the General Assembly chat?
I cannot make those slides available just because they have not the only people within the JED group were given access to the document, since we all have access to edit it. But I'm surprised that doesn't have that on there. I really thought it did. I will find the information because they did send out, I might have just put the wrong 2 in there because they did send out 4 documents with all the information. So I'll just go through and search again for it, but yeah, I'll find it. But I cannot share that slideshow specifically now.
Vice President Rogers, you are recognized.
Much appreciate. The second question was based specifically, you said you don't know if the recreational drug use is accurate and people are reporting fully. Did they have any conversation about if that's in line with national projections, or we've seen other data? Is there any way that we can cross-reference that and kind of see where that lines up?
That's not something we discussed. We definitely could. And that's something we probably will do, or someone probably has done. I know it was not done during the 30-minute meeting that we had to discuss these results. That being said, even then, it would be very hard to sort of get the information, or not get the information, sorry, but know the accuracy of the other reported information, say if it's on a state or national level, because they would fall into the same problems that we have, but we don't know how accurate the reporting is. So while we definitely can compare and see if the reporting lines up, realistically, on average, with a survey like that regarding something like that, you're probably looking at a 5 to 10% margin of error.
Thank you very much, Vice President Rogers. I have a quick question for you. Is there a trend that we're seeing in the previous JED report?
Yeah, so we've actually
And specifically the drug use.
specifically for the drug use, I think binge drinking has gone down. So the amount of students drinking 4 or more drinks at one time has gone down. For actual recreational drug use like cannabis and other hard substances, I think that is consistent, if not it's consistent. If it's gone up, it's gone up by about 0.5% to 1%.
That could be.
Yeah, and that falls within the margin of error, so.
Thank you very much, Vice President Rogers. Is there any other questions in person or online? And I will lend my voice to anybody in the public that would like to ask a question. Senator Larson, I apologize that
That was your last minute decision. Not really a question, but more just like a comment about the alcohol consumption between students. In general, in Wisconsin, et cetera, alcohol consumption is decreasing, so take that as you will. I just want to share that information. Better, I think.
Good news. Thank you, Senator Larson. We will wrap up the presentation. I do believe we have a minute left, if we do want to have any more questions or comments for Vice President Ari Nichols. And he's available in Teams or email. If you do want to get a hold of him, he did a lot of work with the JED Foundation, so
yeah.
if you can, please give him a round of applause for that. Okay. We will now move into non-business housekeeping, and we will rely on our advisor if there's any housekeeping or non-business at this time.
Just a reminder that we will start office hours next week, so housekeeping wise, you ready?
We will now move into announcements. Our next meeting will be January 29th, 2026 in this room, C2402 at 4:30 PM. Is there any questions, comments, concerns about that? Hearing none, I will now move and entertain motion for adjournment. Motion made by Vice President Rogers. Seconded by Senator Larson. I open up the discussion. In person or online, seeing none, hearing none, I'll take the vote against consent. Or.